area at this point. Just try to get it down into enemy territory and allow a couple of your speedsters up top. See if they can't get into the conversation and try to make something happen. So I'm cool with some of these, very direct driven balls down the field just to see if you can make something happen. You never know, and especially against this Lexington back line that's just, there's no chinks in the armor, and certainly not tonight. Just 2 shots, none on frame.
Well, the offensive attack for Lexington isn't going to go anywhere, and you got to be able to get a spark here and get.
Definitely going to want to look at this on the Maumee Bay Turf Center replay, and you see Hogger, just how disappointed he is because they've had so few scoring opportunities. Yeah, I mean, he's a couple yards off.
What a big play that would have been, too, here for Clear Fork, just to get some momentum back into this game. And kind of take the lid off things. Is physical play there from Hogger on Perkins. They'll call a foul.
And I think he's going to get a card, too, probably. Oh, maybe not. I thought the referee was going to stop play, have a little conversation.
Initially thought he did. He's going to give a yellow card. Not on Hogger, though.
So the card actually is to Bo Galloway, who's checking out and having a conversation right now on the sideline with head coach Nate Gailey. And there's a lot of frustration now with Bo. He's kind of pacing, having to be held back. So I honestly didn't see his involvement or what happened. But he's frustrated. He's pacing up and down the sideline like crazy. Oh, big ball into the box. Headed out at least momentarily now by the Colts. Depperschmidt now with the ball at his feet. He makes a run. Turlow with the move, uncorks, and it just slides by out of bounds. Just right. The first shot off target here for Lex.
There is a smaller goal right behind that goal, Brian, so maybe that's half a point. He did make that one. But Turlow, he already has 1 goal here tonight.
Ah, I see.
See on the replays. He made the smaller goal, so
just trying to challenge themselves. The game within the game at this point for Lexington, they've been so dominant. They're finding new ways to really elevate their level of play. Impressive stuff. These two teams have played every year for the last decade, G-Man. Would you like to guess how many victories Lexington has in those 10 matches?
I'm going to go 10.
You are close. There was a draw. 9 wins for Lex, 1 draw, 4 shutouts, and they've outscored Clear Fork 35-7 since 2012. That draw coming in 2013. So we're talking about 8 straight victories for Lex, and looking for number 9 here tonight. And I think that speaks more to the level that Lexington is at and not necessarily where Clear Fork has been, because I talked about 11 wins each of the last 3 years for Clear Fork, and they've had some solid seasons. They're just not in the upper echelon like Lexington is, a team that when they get into the tournament, they're the district favorite every single season. It's incredible that honestly that they haven't had a drop-off. You don't see too many programs with the consistency that Peter Thames been able to deliver time after time since he's taken over.
They seem to always be, the king of the regular season post, including they always are doing postseason damage too, typically the favorite. So it's not just one of those teams where they're always great in the regular season. They know how to do it, when times get tough in the postseason, going against some of those, elite squads. But Lexington, year in and year out, they're always a great program to go up against.
Just have a 2-0 advantage here, so Clear Fork is very much within striking distance, and I think that's why there was so much frustration from Hogger with the offsides call a little while ago, as we're going to get another one here against the Minutemen, is that just 1 goal flips this game right back on its head for Clear Fork. On the other side, of course, it probably rocks the baby to bed if you're Lexington. 3-goal differential this late in the contest. Be really hard to overcome, especially when you don't have a shot on goal yet.
Would have been huge if they were able to get that one from Hager. That's why he was so upset about it. Get back in the game, be down just one goal. And this could be an opportunity for Hager himself.
And you don't want to say that, hey, maybe go do it yourself, but definitely Connor, he's that guy for them that maybe you got to be just a little bit more aggressive and just go into He-Man mode and just try to dribble through some defense.
You got to be able to create a spark somehow, some way. Get some momentum back on your side. It's been a rough night tonight, but still a lot of time left. 28-23 remaining in this game, so still a chance to get back into this game. And this is the most I think they've had the ball on Lexington's side.
Yeah, at least connecting with some feet right now. Jaden Beachy's been incredibly quiet tonight. That's another very gifted, skilled athlete for Clear Fork that just has not been involved in the offensive attack. You see how that possession comes to a close for Clear Fork. Just not a great pass. And it allows for Lexington to try to get the ball right back at the feet of their playmakers, who have been dynamite so far tonight. And I talked about those little passes in space. You saw a couple of them right there. Don't need a ton of it for a lot of these Lexington kids. Such a great feel for one another, where they're going to be, where they're going to go after the pass. And the team speed, I mean, goes without saying. As there's another big shot ripped, but it's deflected off of Dudley.
Depperschmidt in the open field is absolutely dynamite. I mean, cutting it through multiple defenders, slicing and dicing. Lexington could get an opportunity here for a cross.
Down to the touchline, out of bounds for a goal kick. Just a few inches away from being able to unload a cross. Clear Fork gets Hayden Wilson into the contest. See if he's able to generate some type of a spark for him in the midfield. Could certainly use something. And a big collision. Whistle's going to go against the Minutemen. And you never like to see that. Always a tough injury. At least you know you can bounce back from it. So welcome to the match, Hayden Wilson, who just checked in. And that'll be the second foul here in the second half against the purple and gold. Sporting the white unis tonight, and what would you say? That's about a 3/4 moon?
Yeah, it's almost a full one. Getting close.
I don't know my full astrology terms, and really, I think that there's actual definitions for moons, but I think it is just like 3/4 and half. And
I know a crescent.
mm-hmm.
There's a crescent.
Sure.
Maybe a full crescent, half crescent, quarter crescent.
Oh, it's astronomy. What did I say? Astrology? I think it's all kind of similar in the same ballpark. Producer disagrees. I just don't know a lot about a lot, G-Man. Sports is about the only thing that really can keep my attention, so when the ball's on the field, I kind of understand what I'm talking about, I think. But outside of that, I can get lost out here in this big galaxy that we have.
There's a lot to know and a lot to not know, and I think I fare on more the fence of not knowing a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I'll get better.
Well, even in this modern age, this is what's too bad for me. If my brain was just a little bit of a higher level in terms of remembering what I bring in, I am a very extensive Googler. I like to, if I hear words or a term or just whatever, I research stuff pretty consistently throughout the day. I got about 100 tabs on my phone that are open with just things that I wanted to know at a particular time. And then I'll go back and be like, huh, that's cool. And I'll be looking at it for the 5th time. I still won't remember it when it comes up in conversation. So there's just a lot to know out there, like I said, and at least we have the information at our disposal these days. What a game changer. What did we do before the invention of the iPhone? I mean, I remember. You probably don't.
I do not. Do not remember that.
Yeah, I think this whole new generation, that's all they know. It's just so unique because you look at the entire history of mankind, and it's something that's brand new, but everybody has now.
I mean, I had an iPhone when I was 10, 11 years old. That's really all I've ever known. I mean, I had a phone when I was like 8, little flip phone, so I've always been used to kind of having that thing in my pocket.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get another foul here against Lexington. So a big opportunity here for Clear Fork. Both of their shot attempts, of course, as we've talked about tonight, have come off of situations just like this. And you see when they have Connor on the ball, you're thinking that it's probably going to be angled towards a shot from here. But they've got 5 Colts, all on the back post, all eagerly awaiting a big charge. And Connor actually looked like he was trying to bend it towards some teammates. But just like that, Lexington's able to take it away, and Depperschmidt out into the open field. Pushes it out wide. Back to him, the give and go. Yeah, but it's broken up last second. Love the build-up that time by Lex. And we've got a goal there from Will Perkins. Sorry about the radio silence. And what a goal that was. What a tough angle, G-Man. And an even cooler experience after the goal every time with Will.
Yeah, he's an exciting player. Perkins is, one of those players that's coming up here for Lexington, able to somehow get that over the outstretched hands of the goalkeeper and Schaffner. And Lexington beginning to pour it on here in the valley. Take one more look at it. Top left corner, no chance for Schaffner. And check out the even better celebration with the flip. He seems to bring that every goal, so he wanted to shout out Alex Potter the last time. I don't know if you remember him, Brian. He was a great player for Lexington, but big-time goal here for the Minutemen as they go up 3-0 with 24 minutes remaining in this one.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. The other 2 Lexington goals tonight, afterwards, it was kind of somber, like they were going to a wake. They weren't really sure how to feel, if they should be excited about it. Perkins lets you know that he just drove one and tickled the nylon, as Lexington just unleashing shots left and right. But Schaffner able to come up with another save. That's going to be his 4th here in the second half.
Almost another goal in the same minute. As Lexington not able to capitalize there. Schaffner able to somehow, he's been keeping Clear Fork afloat here. Probably should be upwards of 5-0, 6-0, but he's had a couple big saves here. Is now Perkins on the attack again.
And he got tripped up. Wow, I certainly thought that one would warrant a whistle. I'm normally not a fan of whistles in the box, but when they're pretty blatantly obvious. Let's see this one more time. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I'm not sure what would errant that call if that one's not going to be called. Especially in the box with a play like that.
Oh, we've got a message that just came in from one of our fans out there that says this particular mood is called a globius.
I've heard that. That's real.
Okay.
That is real. Dang it, it's not real.
Oh.
It's close to being real. It has the same letter. Waxing gibbous is the term. So that is not right, is what I'm hearing.
So you're getting your science report here on the OH Report. We've got goals and globius and whatever they are, and balls out of bounds for goal kicks. We've seen a lot of these tonight. We're going to get our first look at Owen Bourne, who's going to check in here for Clear Fork. As now 8 shots for Lex here in the second half. Make it 9. 6 of them have found their way on frame, so they've been more on target, more direct when they've been uncorking their big shots here in this second half. And that one way too far out in front off the pass from Turlow. And Caleb Peters now in for the Colts. And it looks like Coach Gailey going a little bit deeper into his bench now at this point in the night with the 3-0 deficit. And, man, the frustration that must be when you're going head-to-head against your former high school buddy and teammate who they just celebrated their 20-year reunion, they said, this past weekend. And guess where both of them were?
Soccer.
Not at the party. They're at soccer. Stunner, right? But each of them were at, not for Clear Fork or Lexington. Well, they were, but for the younger version. Pete coaches his daughter's team, I believe U14. They kind of turned the screws on my daughter's team when they played about a month ago.
Now does Pete have the same sort of fire that he does at the lower ranks as he does at the ranks that he's at as a high school coach?
Yeah, certainly not. It's a little bit different approach when definitely when you're coaching your daughter, but then with just girls in general, of course, there's just a different approach to it. More feelings come into play. So I was impressed, I actually would say, that Pete has been able to figure out how to coach all sorts of different people, different age groups. It's just, you can be a little bit harsher, certainly with the boys, and especially when they're a little bit older too. So he had a little fire, of course, but not the same style of energy. That's how I'll put it.
So it seems as if Pete can really coach any kind of group, a mixed bag, so to sorts. I wonder if he could teach us about astronomy. Is that what that is?
Astrology?
Astrology,
What
astronomy.
are the other?
About a moon. What is a moon?
It's a Globius? Maximus? Meridius? Not quite? Okay. Our producer's saying just focus on the game.
I'm still upset. I honestly am.
You
But
thought it
I was never a big science guy. I took biology and forensics.
Yeah, I would actually have to default to my child, who's an 8th grader now. She really knows a lot about the galaxy and stuff, and is disappointed that I don't know my planets in order of how far away they are from Earth. As that one will lead to an offside, a very late call. And it's going to go against Jackson Pig. And probably the right call. Third time tonight, Minutemen have been whistled for offsides. You see Jasmine out there really cheering on her Colts, urging them. Connie says, "Go Lex," from Nana and Papa Derby. Anna letting the Colts know, hey, man, they got this. Just got to get some scores. But that's been the problem for them in the matches so far this year, G-Man. Against the big schools like we talked about, yeah, they've been able to handle the Upper Sandusky's, no problem, of course, when they've played Mount Vernon and Harding, big wins there. But when they take on the Berlin Highlands, see a 4-0 shutout, just 1 goal in a loss against Huron, shut out by Norwalk. 4-2 they lost in the opener that we had live and free for you against Madison here. So when they get into tournament, I'm going to be interested to see if this team, that obviously they've got some great talent up top. We haven't seen it much here tonight, but I'm going to say that it's more just a level of competition here. Lexington, we both feel like is going to be the favorite in that district because they seem to win it every single season. When they get into the tournament, are they able to kind of turn up the energy a little bit? As here are some, but losing his footing is George. Don't see that a ton on the turf.
A little bit of a turf monster right there. Got George. He was going to end up probably having a great shot, great look, but Tripped over his own feet right there in the ball, and now Clear Fork on the counter.
That's exactly what they want from the outside. And it'll set up a corner kick, first of the match for the Colts. Still no shots in this second half for Clear Fork. More than halfway through.
Got to capitalize on chances you get like this. A corner kick here for Clear Fork. Let's see what they elect to do here off this chance.
Here's Beachy, who, again, just so quiet tonight. Rarely have we seen Jaden involved. Well struck, and then Stewart elevates. Got a great read on that almost immediately.
The speed here.
The counterattack is just absurd. Depperschmidt coast to coast, and the setup just missed. Had George tracking, and look, just off target.
I mean, Depperschmidt took that by himself. I mean, what a run from Alex. Almost connected with George there. Would have been his second goal of the night. Not able to get a foot on it, as we'll stay at 3-0 here with 16 remaining in the second half.
And while we've seen goals from Turlo, George, and Perkins, from my perspective, it feels like Depperschmidt's kind of been the MVP out there on the field for Lexington tonight. Dictates a lot of the action. Yes, this one. Almost able to get squeezed through the middle. But Eric, as he's been on many occasions tonight, right place, right time, shut it down.
So far for Clear Fork, I think their best couple of plays and counterattacks have come in this last couple of minutes. They had the chance before that resulted in a corner. That one that would have almost been a one-on-one, but Lexington able to have great defense, and here will be a shot into the box for Hogger. A lot of contact, but keeper will clear that one out of there for Lexington.
Yeah, Connor sandwiched between a couple of defenders. Obviously had their eye on him as this one squirts through. And now through the middle for George, looking for a second, and he delivers. Right on cue for Dylan. And struck right where it needed to be.
Right off the counter. Connor Hogger for Clear Fork not able to capitalize. Dylan George does capitalize on his chance. He inevitably got a one-on-one with the keeper, able to beat him. And great setup from the Miniman here. And George in open space. He's going to cash in. Back left corner. That'll go for the Minutemen as they're up 4-0 here late.
And I think if you track that, if we had a timer up there, I mean, what does that take him? About 5 seconds to get end to end?
I mean, it was unreal.
He even got caught up a little bit. Just an excellent ball. Just before George would have been a step off sides. And he's able to come through right at the 15-minute mark. So Lexington starting to pour it on here in the second half. 3 of their 4 goals have come over these last 25 minutes, as they're pretty much on par with their goals per contest average. They put up 4.5 per game, allow less than 1 goal. And looking to get to double-figure wins again. I'd have to do some research when the last time Lexington didn't win at least 10 games. I bet it was before Peter Tim. Ball kind of clanging back and forth. Now here's Beachy from the midfield. Makes a solid move. Back to him. Jaden. Off target with that one. Try to send it forward for Frost.
Clear Fork, a tall task coming into tonight, but what a setup here.
Jeez.
Wow.
And that one just barely missed. That would have been Turlo's second of the night.
Their passing is just exquisite.
Almost went into that secondary goal and was so close.
As I was mentioning, Clear Fork, tall order tonight up against Lexington squad. Just a little outmatched. Down 4-0 here in the late stages of this one. About 13:30 remaining in the second half. But we'll take on a Crestview squad new to area men's soccer on Saturday. I will be on that one. So have a chance to go back to 500 for the Colts.
And I do have an answer for you, G-Man, per our great research team here at the OH Report. Do you want to take a guess when the last time Lexington did not win double digits?
Let me ask you a question. How long has Pete been the coach?
I think this is like year number 8 or 9 for him.
Okay. And you said they tied Clear Fork in 2013. I'll say 2012.
I think we've got 2014. Buck Morton was the coach. 8-4 is what we have for their record. But it also says in there, we're on Max Prep. So yeah, I'm not taking that one to the bank. Never mind. It says their conference record was 3-0 there, so they probably did. And I think actually he's been there for longer. I don't think Buck was the coach that year. So let me explain to my research team. Max Preps is only good for volleyball. That's it. Can't be trusted for anything else. But he tried. And here comes that counterattack again. Let's get out the stopwatch for this.
Oh. I was hoping they'd take it coast to coast. I was counting in my head.
Not a good looking pass that time. Beachy with the ball there, and then they had numbers building forward, did Clear Fork. And now they're going to have a throw-in coming up with 11.5 minutes on the clock. That one skyrocketed up, takes a big hop. Depperschmidt tracking. Temperature's starting to drop here a little bit in Bellville. Definitely feel a little bit more of the cooler air sneaking up into the press box. And Frost can't get around the defender. Allows for Stewart to come out and make a play. Just the second time he's really had to squeeze it tonight.
One-on-one right there from from Clear Fork, and just not able to get by the defender. That's Lexington. Such a great defensive team, and Depperschmidt played that one perfectly.
And here he is, Alex sticking with it, tripped up. Got to be a PK, and it will be. So Alex shaking up a little bit on the play. I'm surprised, honestly, for as fast as he and Perkins are, when they get tripped up like that they're not down more often. Because I know that soccer players get a bad rep for flopping a little bit, but at the same time, when you're going at high speeds, like these guys don't have on armor like you do in the NFL or, in high school football. It's just you and your shin guards and your cleats, so.
With the kind of speed that they move at, I mean, you got to imagine how much force that they're hitting the turf with.
So Alex with a chance to make it 5-0, looking for his first goal here of the match. And he just sends it right down Main Street. So the Minutemen pouring it on. Fourth goal here in half number 2.
Just 1-0 at the break, and then Lexington offense exploding even more than they did in that first half. Had 17 shots in that first period, but doesn't matter as Lexington finally beginning to take the lid off of things here is exploded in the second half, 5-0 in favor of the Minutemen.
This would be one of their most lopsided victories over Clear Fork in the last decade. In 19, they were a 6-0 winner. That's the biggest margin over the last 10 years. So for Clear Fork at this point in the match, game is out of reach, but still playing for pride, and you would just love to at least get some quality build-ups. I think that probably the most frustrating part of the night, aside from the scoreboard and the fact that you're going to lose to your county rival yet again, is that not only has it not gone your way, but they've got no shots here in the second half, just 2 for the entire contest, and both of those, I believe, came in the first 10 minutes.
It's been a tremendous defensive effort here, and a lot of that defensive prowess for Lexington has just been they're able to control the ball on offense for so long. I mean, they've kept it on this side of the field for almost, it feels like, the entire second half. Clear Fork's had a couple blimps where they've had it, but Perkins is going to uncork one. This one, just a couple feet above that goal there, and almost able to cap one in, but we'll go out of play, and Clear Fork will get a goal kick.
There's some of that unselfishness that you were talking about, Will, with the green light from downtown. He's got a big smile on his face. And you're absolutely right. While the defense has been incredible when they've had to be so far tonight for Lexington, really the difference is just the ability of the midfield to then translate the ball up to the top guys that are the 2 fastest players on the field, and they really do a great job of hanging on to the ball and just not making bad, careless turnovers. You don't see a ton of balls that are just banged off of a Clear Fork player or just not anywhere near one of their intended targets. I mean, these guys, they're putting the ball where it needs to be more often than not.
Yeah, for Clear Fork, got to walk out here with some sort of momentum, some confidence going into Saturday's matchup against Cressy. They should be the favorite in that one, but still, coming in to tonight, Lexington blowing this one open 5-0. You want to take something from this game and have some confidence, momentum, not only for that game, later this week, but tournament play, season's coming to an end. You want to take some confidence going into that.
And this is year number 10 for Coach Tem. That straight from Mama Tem, or his wife, I should say. So I think we can take that one to the bank. Just the ability to get that shot off by Perkins. I mean, he's triple teamed, 2 guys in front of him ahead as well. Check this out, guys. I mean, it results in, just a missed shot, but there's 4 Clear Fork defenders around him. None of them make a quality step to the ball, and he's just able to turn and fire. Perkins he's had a solid night. Kind of want to talk to him. He might be our MVP tonight.
I don't know if he can rip off a backflip up in here, though, Brian, but you at least have to ask him about his celebrating, antics if you do get him up here.
Definitely. I think he would certainly be my pick, but there's still about 7 minutes for things to change.
They can score in 5 seconds, as you see.
Depperschmidt, while he just has the 1 goal, like I said, I do feel like he's the most important player for Lexington out there. Perkins just might be the most exciting, but I don't know. Their option 1A and B.
Let us know in the comments who you think. Maybe we'll take your vote into consideration, but we can't give our secrets away. You got to stay for the full entirety to check out who our MVP is here.
Minutemen got it teed up here. Played into the box. Schaffner had a beat on it right from the start, and he rolls it out. A little bit of space. There's some bodies forward here for Clear Fork. Hogger wasn't able to flick that one forward.
It's kind of been the story all night where it looks like Clear Fork might have something, on the attack, but then those guys in the defensive end for Lexington just shut it down so fast and then get it right back up to guys like Alex Depperschmidt and Will Perkins in space. Let's see if they do here. This one's a bit out of reach with 5:40 remaining, but what a game here for Lexington.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been impressive. This is the one area team for the guys that I haven't seen with my own eyes yet, with getting the opportunity to see Worcester last night. Very impressed with them. Just a 3-0 victory over Mansfield Senior, who's much improved. I was actually pretty impressed with what we saw from the TY Tigers last night. Worcester said that that's only the second match all year they've played on real natural grass, though, and it's it's tough to adjust when you've been playing on turf all season. But I would say that as impressive as they were last night, Lexington certainly has been just that, if not more so, here tonight. And that's one of the only 2 league losses for Lex. 3-1 Worcester was able to get them after Ashland got them early in the year. 3-2.
I think it is a big adjustment period for, going from turf to grass. I feel like everybody looks and feels faster on turf.
Yep.
Grass, you can get, especially it depends on how they keep the field in order. Because if it's a little bit longer, it's a little bit tougher to get in that full sprint mode. So I think that does come into effect. And of course with the ball, soccer especially, it slows the ball down when you try to kick some goals and get some passes through. So I think that's a good way to spin it.
Generals, of course, the OCC champions this year, and the OCC 20 years old this season, G. Worcester has won 9 of the league titles. Been very dominant. Before I researched that yesterday, I would have thought that Lexington would have had the more championships. Not the case.
I only got to see Worcester one time so far this season, and they
kind of laid an egg, didn't they?
They blew one against Massillon Jackson. They were up 1-0 at half, but then they were just able to come back. They scored 3 unanswered goals in the second half. Did Massillon and kind of put that one away, and Worcester didn't have an answer. But from the games I've covered, Worcester mostly last year, very impressive squad, especially for Brendan French. He's a heck of a player. So
yeah, he had a hat trick off 3 of the goals last night for Wootown. Great interview too. That one's going to be chased out of bounds as we're in the closing minutes. Just 3 remaining. And the Colts making a last-minute substitution here with the sophomore Bourne checking back in. Blakely, Hogger up top. Over these last 2.5 minutes, we'll see if they're able to just get any kind of combination play going, something onto the net, into the box. And for Lexington, what pride this defense has to have. These guys on the back line. Eric's been solid. Dove in the middle. We've seen Terrence Corbin as well make some phenomenal plays. Those 3, they got to get a lot of credit here for just frustrating this Clear Fork offense, because when they have gotten the ball in the attacking third, you mentioned it, they've been close, but then it's over. It's just like the play. It's like you turn on the gas for your stove, and you want it to get up to a boil, but it just won't go above like 150 degrees. You know what I mean? It just kind of stays right there at that lukewarm area.
I mean, it's been a dominating performance for the Lexington defenses. We'll see here what Clear Fork's able to do, and just like that, able to stop it. Clear Fork will get the possession back, but let's see if they can get something to go here with 1:35 remaining. Just a shot of life and a boost of confidence.
Doesn't look like that's going to come here on this possession. As there's a give and go with Sanchez stepping his way out of trouble. But a turnover, and here's Griff. He had to get one in there, right?
Why not let it fly right there? Had a couple Lexington defenders coming his way. He let it uncork. This one wide, though. That'll be their first shot of this second half.
Wow. Yeah, truly an incredible performance tonight by Lex. Who next up is going to head to St. John's Jesuit on Saturday. See if they get another goal here in the closing minute. It's going to be Perkins with an attempt, no bueno. On Saturday, we'll get another look at this Clear Fork team. They're going to be taking on Crestview on the road. And a Cougar squad that's just in their second year back in existence. And the schedule for our soccer matches tomorrow night, two great highlights. Ontario-Madison boys, really thoroughly looking forward to seeing who's going to win that showdown. And then Medina, I think, rated number 3 in the state in Division I for girls. Ontario's like number 5 or something. What a clash that's going to be. Just one loss between those two teams all season.
Yeah, heck of an effort from them all year. And Ontario, they got all those freshmen coming in. So the Lady Warriors, they seem to be like Lexington in boys soccer and just kind of not rebuild, just retool.
Is that man right there, number 14, Will Perkins, the man of the match? Let us know. Drop us a comment, and we will be back with an MVP interview, final stats, and more. So keep it here. The post-game returns right after this break.
In today's world of supply chain shortages and disruptions, having raw material or finished goods inventory on hand to fill customer orders is more important than ever. Based in North Central Ohio and with locations nationwide, including 5 throughout the Buckeye State, MWD Logistics can find your business the warehouse space needed to manage your distribution and logistic needs. Grow your bottom line with flexible warehousing solutions at MWD Logistics.
Going to cheerleading camp next to the abandoned insane asylum, it's like throwing the blood away.
50% of Americans like watching blood get spilled in horror movies, but only 3% donate it.
Now that's scary.
Are you looking for a solid career, job security, great pay, and rapid advancement? An important role with a global leader that invests in state-of-the-art technology, develops world-class solutions, and is committed to a cleaner tomorrow? Yeah, we have just what you're looking for.
We are now back with our man of the match presented by Park National Bank. We've got Will Perkins joining us up here in the booth now. Exciting performance by you and your squad overall, Will. Let's start with the team effort tonight. You held Clear Fork to 0 shots on net. That's an accomplishment that obviously it's a full team effort. Defensively, you guys played great, but it goes with the midfielders and then the offensive guys too, just maintaining possession. So just talk to me about overall just your satisfaction with the way that you guys played here on the road.
We're happy that we could get the ball wide and play more, like get the ball wide and play at middle more, like create more space on both sides. We haven't been able to do that the last couple games, and that's what we've been practicing recently because we need to open the field up more. So we did that, and it opened a lot more space up for us to play the ball.
First half, you were getting some good shots, but second half, I mean, you guys were on fire just in terms of the counter attack. Take me through what you and Alex both bring to the equation with your speed and your foot skills and the ability. As soon as it gets to about midfield, it only takes a few seconds for you guys to set it up for a big shot.
Yeah, we're quick on our feet, know where everyone is on the field, always have our eyes up, never looking straight down at the ball, so we make sure like we know what we're doing, where we're going, and we're not going to run into anybody. And if we do, we know where to play the ball quick, and it just works really well for us.
And Garrett was telling me that maybe early in the season you weren't necessarily looking for your shot as much as you should have been. Some of your teammates encouraged you to take more of the green light. Probably had about 7 or 8 shot attempts tonight. Do you feel like you're building a little bit more confidence in terms of just letting it go whenever you feel like you got a quality look?
Absolutely. I haven't been like confident in my shot at the beginning of the season, and then once we started getting through season, I've been getting better at practice. Al told me not to be selfish when it comes to time to shoot and put the ball in the net, so I took that to my advantage and started taking shots more often.
And when you do put it in the back of the net, some of your teammates tonight, the first couple of goals, I wasn't even sure if you guys actually scored because it's just like, hey, we've been there, we've done it before, no celebration, really no smiles. Mm-hmm. When you scored, buddy, we know that it just went down because you've got a really cool celebration. Mm-hmm. Take us through what you bring in terms of the acrobatics after you score a goal.
I've always been like athletic, and I feel like since Gage Potter always did that, we should continue the trend and keep on doing it. So
it's not necessarily a backflip. You've got what would you call that thing?
Like a side flip more, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I personally, I appreciate it a lot. I like the celebrations, and definitely in soccer, they let you get away with a little bit more than they will in some of the other sports. So keep bringing that juice. And as this team now at 10 wins on the season, tournament draws coming up this weekend, what's some of the goals that you talked about preseason that you're looking to accomplish in the playoffs? Because, of course, this is the team that you guys are winning a district just about every year. Where does this particular squad feel like they can get to?
We're not really sure right now. We just want to see who we're playing in the tournament before we make decisions like that. So
really no goal set for you guys. You just kind of want to wait and see first.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. I'll definitely say that you guys are going to be the favorite when you get into the district. Such an exciting team overall from top to bottom. I was really impressed with what I saw from you guys. Does it feel like you're playing your best soccer of the season right now at this particular part of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're playing more as a team, as we did before, and we all love it. We're all having fun, all playing the game well.
And for you as just a sophomore, elevating your game here at this point in the season, it's got to be excited to be that utilized out there, knowing that you've got so much more time still coming at the varsity level.
I'm really excited for the upcoming years and what the future has for me.
All right, Will. Well, congratulations on being our MVP. I do have a magnet for you, so don't walk out of here until I give that to you. Also, if you want to give a shout-out to the viewing audience, anybody that helped you with your craft, made you a better soccer player, or just like an old friend you haven't seen in a while, go ahead.
My dad, absolutely. During quarantine, all those months, he had me at the track training 24/7, so I feel like I got a boost there. So thanks, my dad. Love you.
Yeah, 24/7. A lot of people maybe got fat and happy during quarantine. Yeah. Not this kid. He got faster and better. The foot skills on full display tonight. Our Park National Bank MVP, Will Perkins. Thanks a lot for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
we'll go ahead and take a quick timeout. We'll be right back. Final stats and wrap things up at the Colt Corral. Awesome performance here at the Colt Corral tonight by the visiting Lexington Minutemen as they continue their streak. I don't know how many in a row they've won against Clear Fork at this point, or at least haven't lost, but I know it's at least the last 11 seasons. I'm Brian Skoronsky along with Garrett Parlett, and there's our MVP, Will Perkins, trotting over to grab his stuff before he gets out of here, and also got a fancy new OH Report magnet, MVP style, talking to his coach, Peter Tim. Man, just a total beatdown here by Lexington. I do feel like this was about the most dominant performance that I have seen so far in boys soccer. Not necessarily on the scoreboard, but just the overall level of play by the Minutemen tonight, G, at each level. They won at every position.
Yeah, they won convincingly, too. I mean, this was a total effort, really, from every single player on Lexington. I mean, 5-0. The score is even closer than it really should have been, to be completely honest. I mean, the time of possession was so heavily in favor of Lexington. Only a couple shots for Clear Fork tonight, only one in the second half. I mean, it was just all Lexington really all night long. Will Perkins, Alex Depperschmidt, Dylan George. Of course, the defense, the goalkeeper. It was just too much tonight here for Clear Fork, and they weren't able to hang tough against a very solid Lexington team that's going to be favored probably throughout the tournament.
Let's take a look at our final stats brought to you by Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvements. And obviously 32-3, the shot differential tonight. And then the possession, 72% to just 28. Those are huge, huge discrepancies in both of those categories. And the one shot for Clear Fork in the second half, I mean, it's hard to even call that a shot. Right. It came in desperation time, and it was from about 50 yards out.
And you got to think, Clear Fork had 11 saves. I mean, it could have been even more out of hand than what it was. Bryson Schaffner, he did all he could to try to keep his Clear Fork Colts afloat. He did great in the first half. It was just 1-0. I mean, this was a game at the half, and Lexington's offense, they were just too much to handle. They came out in the second half, exploded. They got those guys out in the front lines, Alex Depperschmidt and Will Perkins, as I mentioned. Those speed guys, when they got the ball, on their foot, it's hard to defend them with the kind of speed that they got, like Ferraris out there. But just too much from Lexington here tonight. 32 shots to 3. I would say that's a recipe for success, to say the least.
No question about it. So to close out the season, we mentioned that Lexington, they got St. John's Jesuit, and then they'll have Bowling Green to wrap up the season on October 13th. On the other side, Crestview is the next opponent on the road for Clear Fork, a winnable matchup there. Then they've got Marengo Highland, another game that they definitely should be in the conversation for a win. They've got Central Christian and then Ashland to close things out. So potential now for Clear Fork to get maybe 3 wins in a row, and then going to be a tough battle when they get to Ashland. But heading into tournament time, G-Man, I think this is a team that they got to almost like wipe the slate clean after tonight. I don't even know if you watch a lot of this game film. It didn't feel like much of what they tried to do worked out, with the exception of defensively in the first half. They did make some quality plays. I think their game plan worked to perfection, but offensively, I mean, it was really microscopic tonight.
I think this one's just a wash. Just kind of put this one behind you. Lexington, just too much to handle here tonight for the Colts. But you mentioned their schedule. They got 3 winnable games, and then Ashland's going to be, a tough team that Lexington, they lost to Ashland earlier this season, and
Sure.
Ashland was second in the OCC, so even a tougher matchup for Clear Fork to end the season. But they got time to rattle some of this off. They should be able to finish above 500, slated now at 6-7 overall. Should be able to win some of these coming up, Crestview, Highland, and then Central Christian. So 3 winnable games here for the Colts, so still some momentum to be grabbed. It's up there in the air for them before they head into tournament time.
Tournament draw does come up this weekend, so as Will said, they'd like to see kind of how things shake out before they start deciding what their goals and expectations are. But at least for us up here in the booth, it would be district championship and another trip to regionals. 5-0 the final count here tonight. The Minutemen, a big win on the road as they continue their dominance over their Richland County foes. That's going to wrap up our coverage here from the Clear Fork Corral. Of course, I want to thank all of our generous sponsors that help bring you live and free coverage on the OH reports, including Maumee Bay Turf Center. We've got Mechanics Bank. And, well, no power again? Or are we back? Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvement, Charter, Next Generation, MWD Logistics, and our amazing crew here at the OH Report. Adam Thompson, our director and graphics builder. Jory Hollenbeck makes all the commercials for us. Storm Blunchley, our top cam. I'm Brian Skronsky for Garrett G-Man Parlett saying so long from the Valley. We'll catch you on a live stream. I think right back here tomorrow.